This makes it the fourth time the vote on the War Powers Resolution has failed to pass. I spoke earlier with Pete Ricketts, Republican senator from Nebraska.
Well, the first thing I note is these are the highest level talks we've had with Iran in ever, right? So just having talks is big progress in being able to get that done. Ultimately, we need Iran to come to the realization that they cannot continue to have uranium processing that's going to lead to a weapon. And so I hope we can get them there, but you're right, it's a tough negotiation. We'll see where it goes.
At the same time, we have seen Iran being able to effectively blockade the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. is now blocking, of course, Iranian ports as well. But do you think that the administration didn't perhaps anticipate what a powerful economic tool that would be by Iran?
Well, I can assure you that when you're talking about these different scenarios that are going on in the Middle East, that Iran trying to blockade the Straits of Hormuz is something that we do game out. I can't tell you about the specifics of what the administration considered, but this is not a new scenario or a surprising scenario. In fact, I think it demonstrates Iran's weakness if they jump to it right away rather than trying something else.
We saw the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, say that they are turning up the heat on Iran economically, that they would use sanctions used more effectively as a tool in the war as well. He confirmed that the U.S. does not plan to extend the temporary sanctions waiver that was on Russia and Iran. Do you think that will be effective in creating a resolution to this war?
Well, one of the things we have to do is continue to put pressure on Iran. The sanctions by themselves or specific sanctions may not be enough by themselves, but as an overall package, that's what we have to do. And it is one of the things this administration was very effective at in their first term. They were able to take Iranian reserves down to less than $14 billion. And again, this time around, when they really started to enforce the sanctions the Biden administration was not doing, it's one of the things that really drove down their foreign currency reserves of Iran and drove up their inflation, which is what led to all the street protests. So it is something that the Iranian people notice when they see inflation skyrocketing, they start putting pressure on their own government.
When you talk about inflation, we heard the Treasury Secretary say that he hopes that by late September, gas prices here in the U.S. could come back down. We know from polling this war has not been popular with Americans and that the gas prices really have weighed on Americans. Is that early enough for you, for your constituents? Are they going to be frustrated to hear that?
Well, of course, nobody wants to see gas prices go up. But we have to remember that having a country that chants death to America have a nuclear weapon and a missile can reach the United States is something we can never allow to happen. And certainly Iran demonstrated their missile capability by launching that missile at Diego Garcia over 2,000 miles away. That means it can hit Paris or London, which means they're months away from getting one that can reach the United States. So that's why we need to make sure that they never get that. So yes, we would love to get this over with. We'd love to see those gas prices coming back down, but we are certainly less vulnerable than what Iran is.
You know that your Democratic colleagues in the Senate have said it is not clear that there really was an imminent threat from Iran. And I was hearing one of your colleagues on your side of the aisle, Senator Young, say earlier, well, it depends on how you read the word imminent. So again, I guess, is that an argument that you think people will understand, that there was really a threat to take a war to Iran right now?
Again, I think Iran demonstrated the imminent threat by launching that missile that goes over 2,000 miles. Again, they've got a space program that's really just a front for their missile program. And if they can launch it and hit Paris or London, they're only months away from hitting the United States. And they admitted to having enough nuclear material to make 10 bombs. And if they admitted to 10, they got a lot more than that. And we know it's enriched to 60%, which means it's not very far away from them to getting that to bomb-grade material. So Iran has actually made the case that this was an imminent threat.
The British Chancellor Reeves actually called the Iran war a mistake, and she said the question is not whether you like or dislike the Iranian regime. I strongly dislike the Iranian regime, but how to achieve that change that you want to achieve. What do you think of that?
I go back to the nature of what Iran has been doing. Look, this is a country that doesn't think like us. They're a theocracy, okay? So they've got a very different outlook on life. Previous Democratic administrations have tried to buy their friendship. It has not worked. There's no amount of money we can give them for them to like us. So when they get this close to having a nuclear weapon and a missile that can reach the United States, we need to take action to make sure that never happens. They killed over 30,000 of their own people. They would kill more of ours in a heartbeat. That's why we cannot let them have a nuclear weapon and a missile that could reach the United States.